So I don't know not one person who does not like Mexican street corn. So I was so excited when I found this recipe today. I'm making Mexican street corn nachos with black beans. Check it out. Okay guys, so I really love this recipe just because it was so super simple, and I decided to add black beans on my own just for my own personal preference, but I wanted to get a little bit more filling. So I boiled my black beans until they were tender, and then I seasoned them with salt, cumin, garlic cloves, and some onions. I'm not going to use it all just because this is really just for me right now. So if I decide to get some later on, then I can do that, or if someone else wants to get some, that's fine. But so I cooked my corn for a couple of minutes, about 5 minutes or so, and I just seasoned this with salt and pepper. So to this bowl, I'm gonna add my jalapenos, and this is maybe about 4 or 5 jalapenos. And I'll show you guys in the jar. I use the sliced jalapenos, although the recipe calls for 1 jalapeno. Not exactly sure what that's equivalent to in the sliced jalapenos, but I just played it by ear. I have 1 tablespoon of lime juice, a little bit more. 1/4 cup of sour cream. And this is the sour cream that I use. It's just the store brand, easy squeeze sour cream. Alright, then we have 2 tablespoons of mayo. So rinse that off. And that's Hellmann's real mayo that I'm using. Make sure I get all of that. Actually, I'm going to put another tablespoon of lime juice. You will see that that's in the recipe. So let's stir that up. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And then I'm gonna let that sit to the side. So I already have my chips layered so that I can put them in the oven. And these are the chips that I used. You can see that, corn tortilla chips. I have shredded Monterey Jack cheese. I'm just gonna make sure I get a good amount of that. And then I have my oven set for 375. I'm gonna bake this for about 5 minutes. Okay guys, so my cheese is done melting. I'm gonna go ahead and pour my mixture over, my corn and bean mixture over my nachos. Yeah, I just do not know. Now, I am probably not gonna eat all of this, but I'm still excited about it. Alright, now I have my fresh cilantro. And that's about 2 tablespoons. have my Parmesan cheese. Now the recipe calls for cotija cheese, but I went to 2 different stores and they didn't have any. I'm going to, just to add a little bit of color, I'm going to add a little paprika. And I'm sorry, my fan is on, so it's blowing everything around. But so here are my Mexican street corn nachos. All right, y'all, what's good? Air hugs. It's the weekend. Thank you so much for joining Five Vegetarian. Once again, I'm Latiera, aka your favorite cousin, and today I have some Mexican street corn nachos. These boys about to be off the chain. Cheesy goodness. Okay, they're fine, but I'm not gonna eat all this. Just let y'all know in advance. So I wanted to do something. I wanted to talk to y'all today. I've been seeing on Facebook, Instagram, everybody been having the conversation about Boosie and Dwayne Wade's son. I'm not really sure how the two are even related, but I kind of wanted to give my opinion and get a little candid about this subject, just because it's something that I can directly relate to. But let me just holler at these chips right quick. These things are super fire. I don't know if you can see that, but I hope you can. It was about to fall, but growing up in Chicago, we used to eat the Mexican street corn in the cup. So when I saw this recipe, I'm like, oh, I gotta do that. I was so excited. And it will not disappoint. I promise. I added the beans on my own. I added the paprika on my own. And I substituted the cotija cheese for Parmesan cheese, because none of my grocery stores had it, so it's still super good. So anyway, in regards to Boosie, I completely disagree with just the idea of allowing an adult to have any kind of sexual interaction with your minor child. Like, kids are gonna be kids, so if they gonna go out on their own and sneak and experience something at a young age like that, then more than likely it's gonna be with somebody in their age group. You know, that's still way too young for that type of sexual experience. But to influence and to encourage and to even pay somebody to do something like that, I can't even comprehend that. That's me thinking of, you know, one of my nieces or nephews being 12 years old and, you know, somebody in my family paying somebody that's an adult to have sex with them. Like, straight child molestation. I just, you know, I don't really understand the thought process behind that. Well, that's not something that I can get behind. And you know, people comparing it to the whole R. Kelly situation and all of that. Like, in regards to the R. Kelly situation, I would have to say that, you know, I was actually honestly one of those young girls who was in high school and had the older guys they was dating and everything. Back then, from my perspective, I didn't really see it as a problem. I thought that, you know, I'm mature. You know, I didn't want no relationship with no high school boys. I thought they was immature. They was gonna be gossiping about whatever it was that I was gonna be doing. So at that time, I was thinking, oh well, you know, I don't want no reputation around school as, you know, somebody who's doing this and that, or I didn't want nobody to be able to have the opportunity to say, oh, me and Latiera did this. So I think that was one of the reasons why, you know, I was like, yeah, you know, I can date somebody older, I'm mature, you know, I can learn from somebody that's more mature than me. And, you know, I had older boyfriends, and of course my mama didn't know how old they really were, you know, so that was something that I was having. But reflecting back on that, I can see how that was a kind of sick situation for my own self to be in, because I was just way too young. And, you know, looking at my niece being 16, watching them being 16 years old, you know, if they were ever with somebody that was the age of the guys that I was dating at the time, or the guy that I was dating at the time, like, I would have a real problem with that. Like, there's something really wrong with that. And I think that, you know, daddy issues that I may have had at the time may have played into that as well. Just looking for love from that fatherly figure, I think, allowed me to feed into that whole, you know, I want somebody older, I want somebody that can teach me and take care of me. I mean, but it's really a sick dynamic, and, you know, I didn't realize that at the time. But, you know, also, I was a willing participant, even though I might have been being manipulated or used, or, you know, molested, or whatever the case may be. I was a willing participant. I thought I was mature enough to make that decision, but in actuality, I wasn't. If I had to change anything today, then I wouldn't make the same decision. I mean, I wouldn't have the same decisions that I had back then, because I know better. But, you know, I thought it was cool. I thought I was in some way ahead of the curve, you know. I mean, that's just really not the truth. So I think that young people in this day and age need more guidance and education when it comes to the dynamic of relationships and what's appropriate, what's inappropriate. Like, I wish I felt disgusted at that time by being approached by somebody that was so much older than me. I wish I felt that way, but in actuality, I didn't. And, you know, sometimes in life, you just have to live and learn from things that you go through. But knowing what I know today, I would never just idly stand by and watch that go down. with somebody younger that I know and love. It's just not happening. You getting shut down. Point blank, end the period. Like, you in your 20s, you should not want nothing to do with nobody that's 16. So, that's my take on it now. But, I mean, I can honestly say that I was in that situation. So, I could directly relate to that whole conversation. How that's related to Dwayne Wade and his son, I'm not sure. That's a totally different topic at hand to me. People have a problem with him showing love and support for his son who decided to come out as gay. If I have a son or daughter that knows early on in life that they are attracted to the same sex, I feel like that's an opportunity for growth and understanding from both parties involved. Especially if that's something that's totally new to you. You like, okay, what do I do? You know, you have to encourage and love your kids through whatever phase in life that they in. This phase in life, he's just coming out. If he was in a less supportive home where it wasn't accepted, or you know, he was looked down upon for feeling the way that he feel, then you never know, this boy might be suicidal. Anything might happen. So I say that to say, I definitely don't see it being a problem with him showing support. Be there all the way for your son. The only thing I would not do is, just being that he is so young, you know, I wouldn't encourage any permanent changes to be made in regards to sex if he decided that he wanted to, you know, change anything about himself. Those things I feel are better left to when you have actually had the opportunity to grow into adulthood and make that choice, because that's a really final decision. But aside from that, we're gonna go to all the parades. We're gonna do whatever it is that you want to do. We're gonna be advocates for whatever it is, because just unconditional love is something that's really needed, especially when you're going through something as hard as that. Just imagine, it's people in their 50s that still haven't come out. So for a young boy, that's really something hard to shoulder, especially in the public eye with your father being who he is. Like, I really just commend him, because it's so many people that are hiding from their own personal truths. That's also a reason why so many people that can't accept the fact that he is so supportive of his son. So I think that people just need to stop being so judgmental of other people. Look at their own self in the mirror. You know, try to take a second to accept the things about yourself that you're not willing to accept before you can pass judgment on somebody else. And, you know, I just pray, you know, pray for everybody in the world. I just don't know what to say about people who have hate in their heart for people that they don't even know. You know, I just don't have any words for that. But so
Those are my personal opinions. These nachos was definitely banging. Y'all gotta make these this weekend, next weekend, 11. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to 5 Vegetarian. I love y'all, and I hope to see y'all again next weekend.